If you need a little bit of extra space in your workshop, then this video is for you. I'm going to show you how to make a small bench. It's going to be really quick, really cheap, and really simple to make. This I made from offcuts, stuff that I had just knocking around. So for me, it didn't cost anything. But if you've got some pallets, or you've got some people, we've got some friends with some spare timber, see what they've got, and you might be able to get it for free. Obviously, you can go to the shops as well. You can buy it all. If you're enjoying the video, then please subscribe. Right. Anyway, let's progress to the build. What are you going to need? Right, for me, broadly, I made pretty much everything out of plywood and then some 3x2. Also, if you've got some worktop, that'll come in really handy for the top of the bench. But if you haven't got that, just a bit of 1-inch plywood would be perfect. You're also going to need some screws and some glue. Simple. Next step is start building the carcass. So the carcass is the outside bit. It'll give you all your strength and your rigidity, but it's remarkably easy to make. So for me, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the sides, which are 2 pieces of solid ply. Just get your circular saw or whatever you've got. It can be a hand saw if you want, and cut 2 sizes identical to whatever the thickness, the width of it, and the height of it that you want. Cut those 2 and set them aside. Right. Next thing you need to do is cut 4 legs. So I used a bit of 3x2. Cut 4 legs for 3x2, the heights that you want it to be. Simple. Right. Next step, get the 3x2 and apply the 2 sides and screw and glue them together. And it's really important that you screw and glue, because that makes an absolutely very rigid joint. So the carcass is going to be the strength of the whole of this. So you really need to do just screw and glue. Just get get some decent PVA glue and some sort of like 1.25" screws or something. Something that just goes partially into the timber and partially through the plywood. Once you have glued the legs and the sides together, then you need to get 4 strips of timber, the width of the bench, how wide you want the bench to be, and these are going to be your bracing members to give the bench its rigidity. So cut those strips up. You can make them a bit wider on the back and a bit thinner on the front, because you've got to get the drawers in. Once you've done that, then set it down and screw and glue again to create the box. As you'll be able to see what I'm doing in the video, but create the box. Okay, once you've created the box, check it for square. It'll still be a little bit floppy because it's got no bracing on the top, but the next thing you do is you're going to make the top. So if you've got a bit of worktop, fine, just go straight to the next section. If you're going to have to make a top, then get a piece of ply, something. I've gone for 1-inch ply. What I've done there, and then I've cut it and I've overhung it on both sides from the sides and from the front. And what that'll do is it'll cover up the drawer fronts later on, if you're using drawer fronts. Cut that to size, and then put the plywood onto the bench. Turn your carcass upside down, and pop it on top of the top, and then skew the nails in and screw the top to the legs. You can skew it, or you can create blocks depending on whatever you want to do, but on this occasion it felt like that skewing it would do it. And what you'll do now is when you turn it back up, you'll notice that the whole thing is actually quite rigid and quite solid. And to be honest, that's probably broadly everything you need to do if you just want to support something and have a solid bench, and that's it. That's the carcass complete. Because I didn't have any worktop, the next step I had to do was get some contact adhesive, put contact adhesive on both sides, get some foil maker, contact adhesive on both sides, glue it on the sides, and then glue it on the top. and then get router and just trim all the way around. And you know, that's broadly is a worktop, but it's just a long way of going around it. I would have used worktop, but I didn't have any. But I think, as you can see, yeah, well, I quite liked it. As I say, it used to be a floor maker that I had sort of knocking around, so there you go. And that could be the end. But not for me. Right, so what I've done is, because I wanted useful space and I wanted to stop the dust getting in and the wood chips getting in when you're using it, I've gone for some drawer fronts. So I've gone for three drawers, all the same sort of size. I've made drawers like this before, so work out what depth of drawer you want. Cut all the drawers, the sides, all the same. So if you've got 3 drawers, make sure they're all the same size, because then I'll make a piece of cake to make it. So cut them all down, grip them all down to height, and then what you can do is miter them all. If you've got a chop saw, then miter them all. It'd be really easy and quick and simple to do. Once you've mitered them all, you just need to spline them, or I spline them, because glue is great. But for a drawer or something, you're going to need a little bit of extra strength. I think this joint is definitely strong enough when you've glued it and splined it. It's not strong enough if you don't spline it. So take that warning from me. And gone are the days of having to do dovetail joints. So you can do dovetail joints if you want, but I think it's a complete waste of time. They do look nice, but not for a shed sort of desk. Right, so once you have cut them all out, you're also going to have to cut a groove in it. I use the router table, so that the groove should be the same width or just slightly thicker than the plywood bases. So cut the bases, cut the grooves. Once you've got the grooves, the splines, the miters all in together, then I use straps and I strap them all together and then ratchet them down and pull them all together. So once you've pulled it all together, check that it all fits, take it all apart, glue it all up, and then strap it all up again and pull it all up tight. Just make sure it's all correct. And always at this point, check the diagonals of your drawers so they'll be square. It'll be easy just to glue them up, and they won't be quite square because they'll just move a touch. Once you're happy with them with the squareness, leave them for whatever you're meant to do them. Leave them overnight in somewhere moderately warm, and they'll go off. And that'll be your drawers done. So the next step before you fit the drawers is to fit the bench in place. So part of the stiffness of this is the fact that it's going to be fixed to a wall. So put it up against the wall. Check that it'll either fit directly against the wall. If it doesn't, then you're gonna just pack it out a little bit. You can either use your saw, use a circular saw or whatever, and just get the exact thickness of the thickness that you need to pack out. As you see, just lock them in, and then screw the cabinet to the wall, and then you'll see that it's absolutely solid. It won't move anywhere. Once you've done this, then get the drawers and just try once you've done this, then once you fit the cabinet, cut yourself some runners. So just cut 6 bits of 2x1 or whatever you got. I've used a bit of architrave, but it doesn't really matter. It just needs a flat side. Stick that in, and then just space them out equally so they work for you, and then just screw them in. Once you've screwed the runners in, get your drawers, and if you're lucky, if you haven't made them too big, then they should just fit perfect and slide in. If not, then you might need to do a little bit of planing or whatever just to make them in. Once drawers are in, then you can do some drawer fronts. If you've got a bit of spare ply, a bit of inch ply or a bit of 3/4 ply, that would be perfect. I didn't have that, so I just had I had some 6x1, so I jointed some 6x1 with some biscuits, glued them all together. And then plane them down. So now you've got 3 drawer fronts, and you've got to attach them to the drawer sets. The way I do that is very similar to how I used to do it when I was fitting kitchens, is that I will space it, I'll check them all, but I'll space it off the bottom, put the first one in, I use hot glue gun to initially set it, because you can put the hot glue gun on, put it on, hot glue, and then put the drawer front on, set it, and it'll hold solid. And then you can come from behind, put your screws in, go boof, 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 put 6 screws in or something like that. And then get a little spacer. I've got a couple of raw plugs here. Pop those in, and then put the next one on. And then do the same. Hot glue gun, stick it, and then drill from behind. And then do the third one, and then you've got your 3 drawer fronts. For knobs, you can put knobs on if you want. I've just drilled 3 holes, as you can see. I think it finishes it off quite nicely. And there you have it. That's it. It's as simple as that. Drawers are probably the hardest bit. If you want it nice and simple, don't bother with the drawers. Just put some shelves in and leave it open, or cover it up. Put something in front of it. But if you want something that works, or you're going to put something in the bedroom, something like that, then doing the drawers takes a bit of time, but it's definitely worth it. And then just finish it however you want. I've used a bit of linseed oil here because it's in the garage and I don't really care about it, but you need something. If you just left it with bare timber, it's mark and it go really dirty quite quickly. So just pop a bit of varnish on, or a bit of linseed, or a bit of shellac or something, whatever you want, just to seal it really. And then sit back and admire your handiwork. Right. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope you've learned something. If you've got any questions about what I've done, stick them in the comments below. There'll also be some links to some stuff that you may need, but I don't think there's much on this video really, to be honest. And if you haven't subscribed, then please do subscribe, because it means a lot.